Mighty I am presence. I am here, O God, and I am the instrument of those sevenfold rays and archangels.
We are your instrument of those sevenfold rays and all your archangels, all of them.
And I will not retreat. I will take my stand. I will not fear to speak, and I will be the instrument of God's will, whatever it is.
We will not retreat. We will not retreat. We will stand our ground. We will not fear to speak. We will be the instrument of your will, whatever it is.
Here I am, so help me God, in the name of Archangel Michael and his legions. I am freeborn, and I shall remain freeborn, and I shall not be enslaved by any foe within or without.
In your name, and the name of your legions, we are freeborn, and we shall remain freeborn, and we shall not be enslaved by any foe, within or without. So help me God. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you very much.
Hello, my friends. I'm Nathan Liao. The website is watchmanscry.com. Folks, what you just witnessed is proof that the movement of Maga is a movement from Satan that is taking over the church. What you heard was General Michael Flynn, who used to be Trump's advisor during the administration and has become one of Trump's biggest supporters. He's a general of the military, but he also promotes himself as a Christian. What you heard in that video clip was an excerpt from one of the conferences that Flynn is promoting. It's called Awaken America. The clip that you just saw took place in Hank Kunneman's New Apostolic Reformation Kingdom Now Dominionist Seven Mountain Church.
Come on, just begin to prophesy now in the instruments. Let there be a sound released. As it goes up, may there be a divine protection, angelic assistance, angelic reinforcements for President Trump. Angelic reinforcements. Angelic reinforcements. We call from the command of the army of the hosts of heaven. We speak to the commander of the army of the hosts. More angelic reinforcements for President Trump. Lord, more angelic reinforcements. We call upon the God of heaven. Angelic reinforcements over the agenda that you have placed in the heart of this president, over this administration. More angelic reinforcements.
He claims to be an apostle and a prophet because often he will prophesy with music in the background and say things about Trump and about the future of America. He's one of the sorcerers, one of the clerics that is part of the great delusion that is occurring right now. In those meetings, they have a lot of different people take turns speaking about Maga and Christian nationalism and about destroying the Constitution, taking over the government, and having Trump as a dictator. When Michael Flynn was speaking, he pulled a prayer out and he started to read it, and that woman is Elizabeth Clare Prophet, a New Ager who has promoted the New Age cult of theosophy that believes in ascended masters and Maitreya and, the Oprah Winfrey garbage about reincarnation and all those esoteric, confused people. She is one of the promoters of theosophy. She was alive, her and her husband promoted it, and that was her praying to an angel. The prayer that you heard was from one of her books, and the real identity of this creature that they were praying to is Satan, because he is the angel of light, and he appears as an angel of light. So when Michael Flynn was praying, the Christians were repeating after him. He got to a section about, whatever your will is, we will do it. Did you hear them say that, folks? Whatever your will is, we will do it.
We will be the instrument of your will, whatever it is.
And as you can see, it's Archangel Michael, help me. Now, he left portions of this out, but then he changed it. I am here, O God. By the way, this cult is the belief of the I am, that God is within us. We are I am. It's the Christ consciousness that dwells in everybody. It's messed up. And I'm going to talk about the sevenfold rays in a moment. But he said it from his prayer. And this is from Elizabeth Clare, which proves that Michael Flynn is not a Christian. It went on though, and I will not retreat. I will take my stand. I will not fear to speak. And I will be the instrument of your will, whatever it is. I will be the instrument of your will. Whatever it is. Michael Flynn led them in an occultic prayer to Satan and saying, I will do your will. Not God's will, Satan's will. So they prayed to be an instrument for the devil. And then they said, in your name and your legions. In your name. The name of who? The angel of light. So they prayed to the devil and to the legions of Satan. They were talking to demons, to fallen spirits. And then he said, I am freeborn. And there it is right there. Not born again through God, but freeborn to ourselves. Freeborn, and we live for ourselves and we do what we want to do. In other words, they believe in reincarnation and they are freeborn to live life after life after life and just keep ascending. This is outright satanic sorcery from the occult. And the Christians who went to this meeting got slimed. This is what Maga has to offer. So ladies and gentlemen, let me put it in layman's terms. Satan is using Maga to punk the church. Satan is using Maga to put shackles on the church. Satan is using Maga to invoke demons. Satan is using Maga to gather souls that are going to end up in the lower portions of hell. If anyone at this point wants to say that this movement is anointed of God, what we see here is the opposite. And from this point on, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a Trump follower and you call yourself a Christian, and if you are willing to look at the evidence that I just presented and actually put it on the table and to actually have your eyes open and look at it, there's no way you can reconcile that this is a move of God. And if some of you are on the fence about Trump and you're not sure, welcome to this channel, because in these programs, I am bringing the proof, I'm bringing the evidence, I am bringing the receipts and the data, and you just saw a portion of it just now, where Michael Flynn got the people who say they love Jesus to pray to Satan. Trump is the Antichrist. And Maga, by the way, for those of you who may not know, Maga is the 6th level of Satanism, the Satanic Church. If you don't believe what I'm saying, this picture that I'm showing you right now, I actually went into the ether. I went into the cesspool of sewage, of darkness. So I said a prayer. I covered myself with the blood of Jesus. I went to their website. Here's a screenshot. You see it, folks? So you know I'm not making this up. And if we look at the degrees, look at this. Level 6. It's the highest degree. They're called a Maga or a Magus, if it's a female. So Maga is the highest degree of Satanism. It's not a coincidence that that's the name that Donald Trump is using. And it's not a coincidence that this is the name that is on the hats of Trump's disciples. Because that hat that people are wearing on their head, in front of their forehead, is fulfilling Revelation 17. When it talks about the great whore, Mystery Babylon, the woman, the harlot. And if you want to know where that is, that's Revelation 17, verse 5. And on her forehead a name was written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth. So she had blasphemy on her forehead. She called herself Babylon the Great. And by the way, we have done programs on America, Babylon. America is Babylon. A lot of folks are confused. They say America's not in the Bible. Yes, it is. We talked about it in a previous episode in this series. If you're new to this program, if you're new to this ministry, if you're new to this channel and you haven't seen the previous episodes, please watch them, because they are a wellspring of truth and information to open the eyes of those who want to see. And we've talked about America being Babylon. So right here we have the woman wearing those words on her forehead, Babylon the Great, or Maga. They have Maga too, and that name is also blasphemy. As this satanic creature has risen, Revelation 13 tells us, and that beast is the end time kingdom that is forming in the next few years. When Donald Trump gets back into office, he's going to form an alliance of the most darkest, devilish kings and prime ministers and presidents and leaders that this world has ever seen. It is going to be the most barbaric alliance, and it's going to shed a lot of blood. It is not going to allow opposition. It is not going to allow people to criticize it. It's not going to allow people to say anything mean about it, or they will be killed. They will be martyred. Right now, I am doing my best to warn the world that this is coming. Donald Trump is coming back, and everything that he is doing since the first time he was revealed, he became the president, and then he went away. He is reenacting Jesus. He is reenacting the steps of Jesus and the timeline of Jesus. He came once, he went away, and he's coming back. He's coming again. Trump, I'll be back, he says. I'm coming back. He's imitating Jesus, folks. It seemed like he was down for the count. It seemed like it with all those lawsuits and indictments. Folks, do you notice that every time he gets up to speak, he starts spewing out garbage? He spews out hate. He spews out insults. He spews out slander, bigotry, lies, deception. He is a master at twisting the truth. He throws truth to the ground. Daniel tells us this. He will throw truth to the ground. What's the name of his social media app? Truth Social. He throws truth to the ground. So back to Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn is one of Trump's clerics, and he has this tour that he's going around that for the last 3 years he went to a lot of places. Right now it's on hold. I don't know if they're going to do more, but they're always having some kind of conference. The Heritage Foundation has conferences, as well as CPAC, as well as the Christian Broadcasters Association. So all of these groups who want to bring about Christian nationalism are all on board with Trump coming to office and destroying the United States of America, burning it to the ground, and acting as the Illuminati, who we always talked about in the past. You remember that, folks? The Illuminati is going to bring order out of chaos. Remember the two-headed eagle, their symbol, abt ordo chaos? We always knew they wanted their chaos to come. The phoenix was going to burn down everything and then rise up again. But the people who were going to set fire to the world were the Illuminati. The Illuminati, folks. It is so easy to go to YouTube and type in Illuminati, order out of chaos, and look what you'll get. You'll get shows of people saying that they're going to burn down the world and destroy the established world and then rebuild their world, their order. We always knew this. We always talked about it. I've done shows about it for years. But now we have these same Christians, the Heritage Foundation, and these Christian broadcasters, Newsmax, Fox News. They are all okay. And especially these Nar prophets, these Nar sorcerers, warlocks. They are all okay with it. They want to see the destruction of America and then bring about a new Republic of America. In the last program, part 4, I played a clip where one of their spokesmen said that.
The administrative state, are you prepared to fight? Are you prepared to take their best shot and say, is that all you got? They say Alexander gathered his Macedonians before the march on Persia. Well, I say, I see before me a gathering of Magadonians here in this room. And after we raise that swamp to the ground, we will establish the new American Republic on its ashes. And our first order of business will be righteous retribution for those who betrayed America. They will be judged. And there is one man who will be standing on this podium tomorrow. One man who will address the world from this very platform. One man who will never be destroyed and never let America be destroyed because he loves her too much. A man who has exposed the elites. A man who knows how to build. One man who knows how to restore our wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Donald John Trump. And he has one goal, to restore American greatness. Are you ready to restore American greatness? Then I say, in the name of truth, in the name of Western civilization, and yes, as God as my witness, next January 6th, we will be certifying Donald J. Trump and his return to the White House to finish the mission. Thank you very much, and may God bless.
They're going to burn it down, but the new America that's going to rise up is not going to be the same one that we have right now, which means we're not going to recognize it. It's going to look different. It's going to speak different. It's going to act and behave different, and it's going to treat their people different. The laws that they will place in the book are going to be similar to Noahide laws, where if people do the wrong sin, they will be killed, they'll be beheaded. How many of you folks have listened to programs regarding the Noahide laws? Oh no, they're going to bring Noahide. We got to fight it. We got to resist it. No, we can't have this. But now we have a theocracy that's coming that is going to follow similar mandates like the Noahide laws. And they're going to have the death penalty for crimes that today are not part of the list of capital punishment. They're going to have the death penalty for people who are not culturally accepted. For the folks out there who do not know God, they're going to have the death penalty. And folks, I can see it coming. They're not saying it out loud yet, but I can see it coming. They're going to have the death penalty for woke people. Another group that they're going to get rid of are the homeless. Trump has already said he's going to build camps and he's going to forcibly remove the homeless from all across America. They're going to eliminate them.
Ban urban camping wherever possible. Violators of these bans will be arrested, but they will be given the option to accept treatment and services if they're willing to be rehabilitated. Many of them don't want that, but we'll give them the option. We will then open up large parcels of inexpensive land, bring in doctors, psychiatrists, social workers, and drug rehab specialists, and create tent cities where the homeless can be relocated and their problems identified. But we'll open up our cities again, make them livable, and make them beautiful.
They're also going to kill people who are from the rainbow crowd. I can see that coming because Hitler did the same thing. They're going to kill the people who are not squeaky clean like them. And ladies and gentlemen, this has never, ever been the way of the gospel. Jesus never said that we force people to convert to Christianity, because forcing people to convert nullifies God's nature. He wants the people coming to him by their own will, by their own choice. And for all these MAGA people who sat in the church and repeated the prayer to Satan with Michael Flynn, little do they know that when Trump gets into power, he is going to turn on the church. He's going to turn on Christianity. It's in the Bible. We're going to touch on that in a future program, but it's in the Bible. It's in Daniel. You can read it in Daniel, chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 11. It's in there. He's going to turn against Christians. He is not to be trusted, folks. You know why? Because you can't trust a liar. And that's what Trump is. So I am here on this wall shouting with a loud method to tell everybody that we are there. We are in the end times. We are in tribulation. The book of Revelation is open, and Donald Trump is fulfilling the role of the Antichrist right now. And MAGA is his political tool to recruit souls for hell. That's what it's for, ladies and gentlemen. So Mr. Michael Flynn is a New Ager. He's not a Christian. He's a New Ager. Most of the folks that Trump is using in these traveling road shows, these carnivals, these circuses that they're conducting, are not Christian. They've actually had Roger Stone up on the stage talking. I mean, Roger Stone, the man who calls himself the Prince of Darkness, the one who marches for gay rights in California. He was trying to get a prostitute to become governor. He was marching for her a few years ago. He calls himself a Christian in front of everybody. And folks, the mixture is now complete. We are seeing the great falling away. We are seeing the great apostasy. And this is what 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 said would happen. It said that before the rapture, before the gathering, we would first have the great falling away. Before the gathering, folks, we would have the apostasy. And then the man of sin would be revealed. So before the rapture, we have the falling away, which is what NAR is doing. NAR is the great falling away. This seven mountain movement, this seven mountain gospel that is taking over the churches across America and across the world is a gospel from hell. It's a satanic, damnable heresy, and it is not found in the Bible. In fact, it has the New Age mixed in with it, and I'm about to prove that to you. So regarding Michael Flynn, he is acting as the sorcerer and the cleric, and he's Trump's general, acting as a soldier of the cross, but he's really a mercenary for the underworld, acting as a crusader for Jesus, but in truth, he's a New Age mongrel. He's a mongrel, folks. A Pied Piper, a crossbreed, bringing the sorcerers into the church, and he's also bringing in warlocks of the Pandemonium Mafia, also known as Satan's Goblins. And while Michael Flynn plays his flute, making promises to the blind ones sitting in the audience, he's actually accomplishing a harvest for Diablo, the Trump followers who salivate over Trump's image and his name. That's what's happening, folks. And the ones warming the pews, sitting there, who were once devoted sheep, they got in line to have their linen garments sheared off because it was too much work to keep them clean. So they removed their linen with a prayer and replace their white robes with a new garment that is scarlet and overlaid with the image of the beast. Michael Flynn's Awaken America Tour, it's been going on for several years, and its theme is Christian. It sounds Christian. And they've had their great and notable sorcerers, their holy sorcerers on the stage, giving promises, lying to God's people. But back to the satanic invocation. It's so bad, folks. What we are witnessing right now is so bad. Elizabeth Clare Prophet studied under Alice Bailey. And Alice Bailey, if you remember, they have their other colleagues, Benjamin Cream. You've heard of him? Maitreya. If you've been around long enough, you've heard of them. Benjamin Cream. They are all New Agers. And they follow the same belief system. So you have Elizabeth Clare Prophet, who studied under Alice Bailey. And Alice Bailey, by the way, had a publishing company that was called the Lucifer Publishing Company. And she published a few books, but then they changed the name to the Lucius Publishing Company, or Lucius, and then it was Lucius Trust. And here's a picture of their website. And if you go there, you can read all the things they have to say. And it's all of this, the 7 rays. Alice Bailey talks about the 7 rays that Michael Flynn mentioned. And if anyone's in doubt, if anyone is saying, Nathan, you're making this up. Nathan, it's AI. Nathan, it didn't happen. Here's a reminder right here. Okay, the 7 rays. Alice Bailey wrote a lot of books about the occult, and she wrote a series of books about the 7 rays and the initiation of the rays. Here's a picture of a few of them. You see this, folks? Here's her books. She talks about the 7 rays, and if we were to go into the ether and the sewage of her writings, the 7 rays represent a lot of different things. It represents 7 different angels. It represents 7 different colors, 7 different temperaments, 7 destinies, 7 levels of ascension. They believe in reincarnation, that man will continue to ascend higher and higher until he becomes an ascended master. They believe in the universal brotherhood. And here's the other thing they believe, the septenary. Folks, look at this word on your screen. Septenary. Septenary has to do with a fixation with the number 7. So Alice Bailey and Elizabeth Clare Prophet also believe in the number 7. That's why they called it the 7 rays. But the number 7 goes into a lot more. They believe in the 7 rivers of the earth, in the 7 seas, in the 7 spirits. In fact, they also believe, surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen, in the 7 mountains. Now, where is that found? Alice Bailey was a student of another person who was demon-possessed and actually blazed the trail for all of this. And her name was Helen Blavatsky, or Madame Blavatsky. Here's her picture. Here she is. She was in the late 1800s. She started the Theosophy Society, and she had a publication called, well, here it is right here. How do you like this, folks? Here's her magazine, Lucifer, a theosophical magazine designed to bring light the hidden things of darkness, edited by Helen P. Blavatsky, the Satan-possessed demon woman. And look what it says, the light bearer is the morning star, or Lucifer. So Lucifer is the real one that they worship. Lucifer is the personality that they pray to. So if we go down the line of logic, we had Elizabeth Clare Prophet, who wrote a prayer book to the 7 rays, praying to an angel. She called him Michael. And then Michael Flynn prayed that same prayer to the 7 rays and to the legions of Satan. And then the church people followed and prayed it. And if we go backwards, Elizabeth Clare Prophet was a student of Alice Bailey, who was a student of Madame Blavatsky, the witch, who published a magazine called Lucifer. So there you go, folks. This is what has infiltrated the Christian movement that is anointed by God, supposedly. And when we pull the curtain out of the way, this is what we see, ladies and gentlemen. Satan is punking the church right now. He's punking the church, and the people who have taken part in this need to be delivered. If any of you who are listening took part in that, or if you've gone to Maga gatherings, you're getting slimed. You're getting slimed when you go there. That is not of God. It is satanic, it is devilish, and it is taking over the church. Now, when Helen Blavatsky channeled demons, she talked about the mysterious Indian man, the ascended master of the I Am Great White Brotherhood, that they considered to be an angel of light. And these ascended masters that they speak to and worship made fools of them. They deceived them. So the ascended masters that they pray to and worship have angelic names, and they have given them angelic identities. So when they're praying to Michael the archangel, it's not the Michael archangel that we are familiar with from the scriptures, the one who fought over the body of Moses against the devil. So with this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we saw what Maga is doing to their people. Maga is destroying their souls while they get them to commit to their movement. Maga is hijacking their souls, their faith in God, their citizenship in heaven, their inheritance, and all of that. Satan wants it all. And he's sliming the Maga lemmings, leading them to perdition and leading them to their demise. And by the way, as I said a moment ago, this took place in Hank Kunneman's church. Hank Kunneman, the prophet, quote unquote, who calls himself anointed. He's a Maga shepherd, a Trumpian cleric, a sorcerer for Babylon, and he's a warlock who claims to be anointed by God. He claims that Trump's tweets are inspired by God. He's even gone so far as to say that when Trump gives out a tweet on Truth Social, when he throws truth to the ground, Hank Kunneman has actually said that Trump's tweets are inspired by God and equal to Elijah. They're just like when Elijah would speak.
You know what? I realized something. All of his tweets was nothing more than God speaking, whether he knew it or not, against an opposing kingdom and what they're trying to do. And you know what? If you think President Trump is bad, you would not like Elijah. Because he stood up in 1 Kings 18 and said, why are you caught between two opinions? Come on, bring me your Baal worship. Put your bull down. Call down fire. What do? They cut themselves. They bled, right? No fire. And here's what he did. He goes, Elijah, I'll behave myself. But he mocked him. Okay, he wrote mean tweets.
How absurd is this? How absurd is it that the people out there who want to defend Antichrist Trump as God's Savior must give their heart to the red dragon. And they're doing it without even knowing. Because at its foundation, the 7 Mountain Mandate is promoting all of this. And these prophets, these Nar prophets, all of these whacked out, confused people are the mouthpiece for the devil, just like Revelation 13 tells us. Nuh-uh, Nathan, the second beast is Rome. I have been declaring in this ministry, and I have been saying it for 15 years, that the way that end-time prophecy is going to happen is not what we were expecting. I have been saying that God's going to throw us prophetic curveballs. Each prophecy, each prophetic event that we have read about in a book, like the renewed sacrifice or the temple being rebuilt, the Ezekiel war, the rapture, the pre-tribulation rapture, all of that stuff, the way that we were told is not how it's happening. Here's the bottom line. The purpose of the tribulation period in these last days, the purpose of it in the past really didn't have a reason. Have you noticed that, folks? If you were to go to Hal Lindsey and say, what's the reason for the tribulation? Well, they would actually give us something that's not true. They would say it's for Israel. It's a time of Jacob's trouble. It's for them to be slapped around for a while. You know what, folks? Israel has been getting slapped around for 2,500 years. They have been spanked for 2,500 years. And after Jesus came, the bloodletting got even worse because they were in the crowd when Pilate said, what do I do with him? And they said, crucify him and may his blood be on us, on our heads, and our children's children. Well, God's law of sowing and reaping took that one into account and ran with it because they have been getting spanked for thousands of years. So the tribulation is not about them. Others might try to say, well, the tribulation's for the world. It's to punish the world. And we're not supposed to be here to get punished. Nope. The world is already judged. The world is already going to get punished. And the people who do not know God will have to face him in the great white throne judgment. And if their names are not found written in the book of life, they will be thrown in the lake of fire. So they have their judgment already. Plus, on top of that, in the book of Revelation, when we find the rapture, when we see the rapture in chapter 14, verse 14, where Jesus is in the clouds and he harvests the earth, that's the rapture, folks. If you're new to this channel, the rapture happens in Revelation 14. Go look at it. The Son of Man is in the clouds and he harvests the earth, and the earth was harvested. Where is he? In the clouds. What does the prophecy say from Paul? Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. In the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, the dead in Christ shall rise first, and we who are alive and remain shall be caught up. Where? We who are alive and remain shall be caught up in the clouds. to meet the Lord in the air. We'll be caught up in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Revelation 14:14. Jesus, the Son of Man, is in the cloud. It's the rapture. So after the rapture, we have the wrath, because another angel then shows up and he starts the wrath of God. He plunges his sickle and starts squeezing the grapes of the wine of the wrath of God. And then the world catches on fire. And then in the next chapters, 15 and 16, we have the judgments, the bowls. That's the wrath of God. It says wrath. After Jesus harvests the earth, Revelation 14:14, then we have the wrath mentioned, and the following chapters say wrath. So the pre-tribbers out there who are confused about this, who say, we're not appointed to wrath, so we're not going to be here. Okay, if some of you have said that, do yourself a favor and read the reference I just gave you. Because the tribulation before Revelation 14 is not the wrath of God. It's not. And we can't call it that. So, folks, and ladies and gentlemen, we must follow the scriptures. We must follow what the Bible said. Jesus said, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word will not pass away. That means that every jot and tittle is going to be fulfilled. And Jesus meant what he said, and he knew what he said. Problem is that we, as earthlings, do not understand what he said, because we're earthlings. So we need his wisdom to understand. We need to have him open our eyes. That has been my prayer for the last 40 years. God, open my eyes. So he has done that. So I come to you as his servant, and I relay the information, so that then you can get a hold of it, and then you can relay it to others. But it has to be done following the scriptures line by line, precept by precept, and we can't jumble it up with confusion. So back to the purpose of the tribulation. The purpose of the tribulation is to prepare the body of Christ for the gathering, for that event in Revelation 14:14, when the trumpet sounds. The purpose of the tribulation is to get us ready, and also to purge us, because we need to be purged of the things of the earth, and also to thresh us. And we have talked about that in previous programs as well. Now, in the next program, I am going to talk about the whore of Babylon, and I'm going to share some insights that is going to contain information that I'm pretty confident the church has never heard. But it's in the Bible. It was always in the Bible. And I'm going to bring to you the identity of Mystery Babylon. I am going to share the identity, and I'm going to prove it with Scripture that it is, well, let me just tell you who it is. Mystery Babylon is a combination, it's a chimera, it is a country, a nation that has been infiltrated with a spiritual movement, a theocracy. So it has the marriage of politics and religion, and it becomes a very radical creature. It's a whore, it's a woman, it's an entity that is going to shed a lot of blood. It's going to shed the blood of saints, and it's going to shed blood of people who are not saints, who are not Christian. It's going to kill Christians and non-Christians alike. Mystery Babylon is, and this goes right along with what Trump is talking about, and all of these Maga prophets are talking about, that they're going to bring red. They're going to bring bloodshed. They're going to bring pain. They're going to finally get their glorious kingdom. That kingdom is going to be built on the blood of the saints and of martyrs, because that's what the Bible tells us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mystery Babylon is also infected with Maga, and I'm going to show you that as well. Maga has infected the United States of America, and the infection is spreading to the point where the old America will die, and we touched this on a previous program as well. Kingdom number 7 that we read about in Revelation 17, the 7th kingdom will give birth to the 8th kingdom, which will be the kingdom of the beast. But the whore of Babylon is going to be the whore of Maga. She's going to have blasphemies written on her heads. And in the last program I talked about this. The 7 mountain movement is mentioned in Revelation 17. And it says that the woman sits on them. The woman is supported by the 7 mountains. See, folks, this all fits what's happening right now. The 7 mountains each represent a different portion of society, of our culture. So you have government, arts, entertainment, media, family. All these categories are mountains that they came up with. 7 mountains are also mentioned in Madame Blavatsky's writings. In fact, here's one of her pages. Look at this, folks. She talks about the 7 mountains. This is from her book. This is from those New Age sorcerers, those demon-possessed people who channel fallen angels. It's not new. So Maga has the New Age mixed into it. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. I have so much information to give you guys. And this information has an expiration. Because according to the calendar that we see, in front of us. The election's this year, just in a few more months. And whether or not Trump has enough votes, they're going to steal the election. That's their plan. So he's going to be in office by January 20th, if not sooner, unless they do a coup or something. But he's going to be in office, and he said from day one he's going to declare martial law. He's going to declare a state of emergency. He's going to shut down the border, and he's going to start being a dictator because he said from day one he'll do it. He's also going to silence his opposition, which means this channel, Watchman's Cry. And if he doesn't do it in January, it'll be in February or March, but at some point it's going to happen. What does that mean? This means that the people who are bringing you the truth, like this channel, if all of this comes to fruition, ladies and gentlemen, you will not be able to get this information anymore. So I want to challenge you, download it and save it to your hard drive, save it on your phone, but get a hold of it and save it. Also, I've been contacted by several people who have asked me if I can put all of this information in a text format. So I am working on that, and actually the best idea for that would be if I put all of this information and then some of the other information that I'm not able to squeeze it in because it's too much. But if I turn all of this into a book of some sort, I would like to try to do that if at all possible. So pray for me to be able to do this. So folks, my hands are busy to get this information, because when we get down to it, folks, when we really see what's going on right here, the battle has started. We are fighting the spirit of Antichrist and the kingdom of the Antichrist that is rising. Let me say that again, folks. Right now, in 2024, you're listening to a program whose sole purpose is to fight the kingdom of the Antichrist and to inform the public and Christians and anyone that will listen that we're there and that our time is short and it's going to get ugly. God's people need to have this information, because if you have this information after I go offline, when you start seeing the bloodletting, when the guillotines are brought into the city courtyard, which, by the way, Trump has stated that he wants to bring back public executions. He has said that. Rolling Stone magazine did a expose on it, and they have 3 sources who were working with Trump in the White House have stated that he has told them that he wants to bring back public executions and also the guillotine. Folks, we're seeing it happen before our eyes. So at some point, the people out there who are against this movement, and if you are awake and you're against this movement, if you speak to others about it, then there's a chance that you could get found out and you will be persecuted or thrown in prison or even executed. This is where we are. And the Trumpians out there who have radio shows, they have microphones, they're all talking about this. They cannot wait to shed blood on the opposition of Trump. In the previous program, episode 4, I played clips of them talking about it. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it, episode 4. So ladies and gentlemen, this is not just a hobby of mine. This is the calling. This is what I have to do in the last years of my life until I can't do it anymore. Whether God says you're done and I want you to stop, pack up your tent, or if I go by the way of the cross. Whichever way he chooses for me, that's fine. But ladies and gentlemen, every one of us are going to have to come to terms with this. Every one of you who are listening to me right now, if you have considered that Trump could be the guy, then also included with the consideration needs to be that you need to think about, what if you are faced with the firing squad if you don't deny Trump? What are you going to do? Or the guillotine? Or thrown into a prison? Or starved? Or mistreated? Tortured? Abused? Every one of you that are listening may have to think about it and make that choice. You may have your turn. But I want to tell you something, folks. There is nothing more glorious in the entire universe. Nothing is higher than returning the favor of what Jesus did for us. The 12 disciples went that way. Peter said, I'm not even worthy to be crucified like Jesus, so he was crucified upside down. He requested that because he didn't feel worthy, but they were okay with it. That was their cup. And folks, here in these last days, it may happen that it's our cup as well, or some of us will have to drink from that cup. This is serious business, folks. I'm not here trying to just entertain you. My message is not entertainment. My message is serious. My message is real. Because we're watching it play out in real time. We are watching the prophecies when we actually see them in their truth with what they really meant. We're seeing it play out before our eyes right now. As it plays out, we're going to see what the real purpose of the tribulation was. When we go to the Left Behind books and the Hal Lindsey books, and we hear John Hagee talk about the rapture and the end times, not one of them ever tells their people that are sitting in the audience, not once do they ever say it, or not once has it been written in a book from Hal Lindsey or Tim LaHaye, that the reason for the tribulation, it is a test so that God can find out where our hearts are. to see, do we love life more than him? And do we have faith enough to go down that road if it means the cross? Do we have the faith of the cross, ladies and gentlemen? We can talk about it all we want, but proving it is another thing. So God allowed Trump to come on the scene as the Antichrist so that we can choose. You know what that means, folks? That means that Trump is the sifter's fool because he represents all of the sin that a human can commit. He represents all trespass. He is a walking incarnation. That's why he's the man of sin and the man of lawlessness. So, folks, this is what's going on. This is the truth of the end times. Because there is a truth and there is a reality, and here it is. The evangelical church needs to be tested to eliminate the pretenders who are a part of it, and the hypocrites, and the chaff, and the infiltrators, and the blind ones who deny the truth and do not love the truth. The evangelical church, today's church, needs to be tested. And God is finding out where their hearts are. If people went to Michael Flynn's service and they sat there and did that prayer and they didn't go home and Google it to look it up to see if it was something that wasn't maybe good that they should have done, how many of them did that? How many of them dismissed it? Ladies and gentlemen, this is why God is allowing the second beast to rise up out of the ground. The first beast is the end-time kingdom government, and then we have Mystery Babylon, which is a kingdom that is full of mixture. It has politics and religion mixed in, but it is a theocracy, a nationalistic empire, and that's what the United States is. But then we have the second beast that rises up in Revelation 13, and that second beast is this demonic spirit that has come out of the ground and has infected all of these preachers with madness. They can't even think straight. They can't think straight. And those mad preachers are defending lawlessness. They're defending sin. They're defending the abominations of Proverbs 6, the 7 things the Lord hates. They justify it. They dismiss it. They whitewash it. And they convince the sheep that sit under them to follow suit. And as a result, God is sifting. And God is finding out which side the people are on. That's what it's about, folks. Today's 7 mountain Maga mania of spiritual neurosis requires theological disintegration and soul rot in order to be legit, because it can't be done, folks. It cannot be done. Maga cannot be justified by the Bible, but quite the opposite. That 7 mountain heresy that they're using is not in the Bible. There's not 7 categories of culture and media and entertainment. Where's that in the Bible? How would the Bible even say that? There are 7 categories. One of them's entertainment and media? Really? This shows that they're just making stuff up. Lance Wallnau is a tool of Satan, and he made it up because his soul is rotten and has been taken over by demons. So that heresy seeks to merge. Here's what he wants to do. It wants to merge because that 7 mountain is part of Madame Blavatsky's cult. And it wants to merge the flesh with the spiritual realm. But the spiritual realm that it wants to merge with is not the realm of God. It's the realm of the Antichrist and of darkness and of fallen spirits. We are in the final test, and most American Christians are failing. Sadly, they didn't have to fail. All it took was seeking the truth. They didn't have to fail. All they had to do was fact check. All they had to do was look stuff up. All they had to do was read, but they didn't want to do it because they're lazy. I get so many objections from their camp. So many. With questions like, how is Trump evil? I get that question over and over. I get it on Facebook. I get it on private messages. I get it on YouTube comments. How is Trump evil? To even ask that question means that they've been bit by the adder. Trump's puppet master and handler, Satan, and his demons who are at large, hunting for souls, searching for victims, and finding them tuned in to Fox News and Newsmax and Sid Roth and QAnon and Lance Wallnau and all of those other sorcerers and warlocks, preaching their sermons about Trump the Savior. Or perhaps they're reading the words of Mr. Antichrist himself from his social media app that he throws to the ground. His truth that is not truth, but actually lies. His posts are always boasting, always slandering and threatening with hellish words full of lies, because that's what the Bible said he would do. He would throw truth to the ground. Folks, the Antichrist plan of Satan is underway right now. It is here. It's in motion. And most people have no clue. So welcome to the end times. Welcome to the final laps that are leading us to the grand finale. It's coming, folks. The grand finale will be here a few months, where we will watch the birth of Mystery Babylon. She's going to be a chimera, a half and half creature, a mixture creature, a nation infected with a rotten cloak of spirituality. And that nation is going to turn into a fascist nightmare, where feared laws are going to take over your city, where Christian nationalist zealots will be christened as soldiers of God's army. And those same zealots are going to declare war on anyone who doesn't worship the new American Republic and pledge their loyalty. They have a plan, folks. They're going to open up the camps, and they're going to relocate millions of people. Some of them will be mishandled, and some of them will be sent into the afterlife. Ladies and gentlemen, the 7 mountains are a heresy. And they're also a repackaging that the Nazis used, which, by the way, is no surprise because they also had their philosophy from Satan. And this is what the whore of Babylon is all about. She's patriotic. She's zealous. She has confidence. She's full of herself. She doesn't think she'll ever see bad because she's deluded. And when we read that Mystery Babylon is drunk on the blood of the saints and the martyrs, that tells us, folks, that tells us that she also has a mission. And she believes that her mission is doing God a favor by eliminating those who want no part of her. I know this information is heavy duty. I know it is. I see the comments. Some of you are contacting me and you're blown away, and I am too. This is what's going on. Every day I'm praying to God and asking him to give me more, and Allison as well. The two of us are asking God to open our eyes and give us wisdom and understanding, and he's downloading so much stuff. He has given Allison some incredible stuff. I'm going to be sharing that on the next program, by the way, when we talk about Mystery Babylon. And he's also sharing things with me. So I have to then take this information and format it in a way that can be understood and that makes sense. Because that's what needs to be done. We have to be able to explain this. This message needs to be spread to as many people as we can. That means that you're a part of this mission. You're a part of this movement. If you're a Bible-believing Christian, if you belong to Jesus, and if you are opposed to the Antichrist, then God has chosen you as well to have your eyes open. It wasn't an accident that you're listening to this program. It wasn't an accident that you found Watchman's Cry. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you can take any of my programs and go and confirm it yourself. You can go to the verses that I share, confirm it yourself, and you will see with your own eyes that I'm not lying to you. I'm bringing the truth. So I want to just challenge all of you to share this message. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Let's get the numbers of this channel as big as we can before it goes off the air. Thank you for listening. And also, ladies and gentlemen, you see our address right there. Please remember us in your support. We are fighting the powers of darkness. Help us do that. Hold our hand, because time is short. What battle is more important than this, than fighting the Antichrist and pulling souls away from him? We have to do it, ladies and gentlemen. You can help this happen by supporting this channel, supporting this ministry. There's our address, Watchman's Cry, P.O. Box 157, Priest River, Idaho, 83856. Or you can go to the description. There's a link to Cash App or Venmo and to PayPal. Please share this program with everyone that you know. Share it with pastors, share it with preachers, and say a prayer before you give it to them. But folks, this message needs to get out. It needs to get out. So I thank you for your support. I thank you for your prayers. So after this segment, episode 5, we're going to come out with number 6. The next episode is going to shed light, and it's going to illuminate everything. I'm going to reveal Mystery Babylon, what her identity means to the body of Christ. Subscribe so that you will be notified when it comes out. And pray for us, ladies and gentlemen. Pray for us. And also, get your life in order. Pray for yourself. Pray to God. Pray to Jesus. It's time, folks. We're running out. All right, my friends. So with that, I'm going to go now, but I'll be back real soon. So until then, stay safe, stay vigilant, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.